इतना कितना है? इतना है या इतना है? जो नापेगा वो जाने कि जहां धरती और आसमान मिलते हैं, नानपुर से दूर, अगर मगर शायद से दूर, वहां भी दोनों में फर्क बस इतना सा है। धरती और सातवें आसमान में फर्क बस इतना सा है। ये एक अंतर प्रेरणा है। ये हमारी, आपकी, हम सब की अंतर प्रेरणा है। एक कदम, एक छलांग, एक बाजी, एक गहरी सांस और एक ललकार खुली हवाओं में कि हाँ, मैं बना हूं उन फिजाओं के लिए, कि हाँ, मैं बना हूं उन ऊंचाइयों के लिए जो ऊंची तो बहुत है पर नामुमकिन भी नहीं, क्योंकि मुमकिन और नामुमकिन में बस इतना सा फर्क, धूप छांव में फर्क बस इतना सा। तो बस चलिए फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया के साथ ये फर्क मिटा देते हैं। फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया।
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us on this webinar of Business Opportunity Over Chai. Business Opportunity Over Chai presented by the management of Franchise India with an aim to introduce you with a new business opportunity every day at 12 o'clock. With the same aim today also, we are going to introduce you with a new business opportunity into preschooling. But before I'll introduce you with the brand, let me just run you through with the Q&A process. If you have any questions during the webinar, please type your question into the Q&A box. We will take up all your questions post our presentation and brand brief. So while we'll run you through with the presentation and brand brief, I would request you to keep sharing your queries and questions into the Q&A box. We could see some of you raising your hand during the webinar. I would request you to please write your question into Q&A box instead of raising your hand so that we can understand your question and we will take up and provide all the answers of your queries. So now let me introduce you with the brand. Our today's brand is Dibber. They are Northern Europe's #1 chain of preschools. They are already into 10 plus countries globally. They are working and they have 600 plus preschools already running in the current scenario. They are expanding their wings into Indian market. We do have Mr. Monil Ramya. He's from Dibber School, directly here to tell you more about the brand and business opportunity. Along with Mr. Moli, we have Mr. Gaurav Arora. He is leading this brand into Indian market from Franchise India. And Mr. Aditya is handling this brand individually. I would like to welcome all of you on this panel today. And I would like to request Mr. Monil to take the lead and tell us about the brand opportunities which they are giving into the Indian market. Over to you, Monilji.
Thank you, Neha, and welcome everyone. Good afternoon to this session, and it's a privilege to be part of this particular webinar. I would like to take you through what Dibber is, how we are performing globally, how we're performing in India, and what are our plans for this country, and how beneficial it is for any prospective franchise partner to join Dibber and be part of the extremely successful and profitable venture. So I'll take you through a presentation, and then we can take the Q&A as Neha mentioned. Please let me know once you can see my screen, Neha.
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, so we're talking about Dibber. Dibber today is Northern Europe's most trusted and largest provider of early childhood education centers. Our purpose, we develop lifelong learners with a heart for the world. This brand has been founded by very two passionate individuals, Hans Jakob and Randy, and they started with a dream of providing quality education for their children, established one school in Norway in 2003, and today we have 600 plus preschools across 10 countries. This is the global leadership team that is currently taking reins of Dibber. Highly experienced and people with varied backgrounds in processes, marketing, operations, global brands. So they've seen everything through a combined experience of more than 100 years. The countries that are currently part of Dibber: Norway, Sweden, South Africa, Poland, Finland, UAE, Germany, Hong Kong, Latvia, and India is the latest addition with 5 units. If I were to tell you Dibber in numbers, we have 600 plus preschools, 12,000 plus educators across these preschools, 20 years of experience, and now in 10 countries. More than 45,000 children have been part of Dibber globally in these 20 years. When we talk about India, India is the latest addition, but it is the most ambitious market for the entire team, including the global team. And we've started our journey in 2023 and seen a lot of success. So currently we are looking at 5 units across Bangalore, Pune and Hyderabad. We have 3 in Bangalore, 1 in Pune and 1 in Hyderabad. Our ambition, we want to be part of all the tier 1 cities by 2024. We're looking at 30 plus thousand children in the next 5 years in India itself. Our promise is that we want to deliver the Nordic pedagogy, which is supposed to be the best or the benchmark in the world, bring it to India, tailor it for the Indian education policy, and make it a grand success, not only for Dibber, but all the partners that get associated with Dibber. So key facts about Dibber, like I said, we are number 1. There is a lot of process that is involved in making Dibber operational in 10 countries successfully. So the Dibber way that we call is a set of processes that we've aligned across all functions. Like I said, we are a global community and we think long term. Dibber in India is here for a long term, and we are looking at very ambitious plans for the next few years. How we live and deliver, there are a lot of tools, assets, and materials that we provide to every franchise partner that comes and becomes a part of the family. There is a culture that is driven, which is the Nordic culture, where we see high rates of success in terms of work-life balance, in terms of education, quality framework, etc. This is a set of processes. I'll not take too much time here, but there is everything that is laid out, where it comes from the brand core, brand design, there's a brand governance, the legal part, which is taken care of by a particular team, how we live Dibber. So we focus a lot on the Dibber childhood. There are some golden moments that we lay out, and we focus particularly to make this successful for every franchise unit. There is a heart culture. So Dibber is driven by heart, and heart culture is really important to drive everything that we do on a daily basis. We have collaboration teams across the globe and for every country as well. And there are a lot of digital tools that are available once you become part of the Dibber family. One of the biggest things is the CRM and the parent app. There's a great opportunity for anyone who wants to be part of the preschool industry. We all know this. Now, what is there for you if you join Dibber? You leverage a global education brand in India, world-class Nordic curriculum tailored for the Indian requirements, access to a lot of proven successful processes to complete the Dibber experience, and there are a lot of global practices, best practices available. So on a daily basis, there is a lot of exchange that happens within 10 countries of what is successful, how can we make things better. Now, in terms of the support system, what does Dibber provide to every franchise partner that comes on board? First is the childhood. We're talking about a pedagogical framework and curriculum based on Nordic principles. So while it is Nordic, it is totally customized for the Indian market. And we have a series of tools, worksheets, books that are tailored for the Indian market. Brand and marketing support. We do national level marketing for the brand, and it involves a lot of ATL and BTL activities. We are digital first, so you will already see a lot of things happening on our digital front. which is our social media channels like Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. We have our website for the Indian market. We have a CRM which is being developed, which will go live in January, which takes everyone in the system, right from the discovery, how we can become part of Dibber, then you start unit visits, then you do the admissions as part of the entire process. IT system support, so like I mentioned, CRM and Dibber app. Training and development, so we have global trainers that train our teachers, our unit managers on a daily, on a weekly, on a recurring basis to keep them updated with all the processes. Operational and quality support, so this goes without saying, there are SOPs that are laid out for the brand, how you need to run a center, even the look and feel of each center. There is an entire brand guideline book, right from the time that you look at a particular unit, you enter the reception area, you enter the admissions office, facility and learning environment. So there's a unit kit that is provided to every franchise partner to deliver the Dibber childhood experience, and while at the same time keeping the child's safety in mind. These are some of the units that are currently live. The one on the left that you can see is in Bangalore, HSR. Again, this one is in Bangalore, Whitefield. We have centers in Pune and Hyderabad as well. We have our global team visiting our units on a regular basis. If you check our LinkedIn, our pedagogy head, Shauna, was part of an entire workshop experience last month itself, where she visited all the units and herself trained all the teachers and the teaching staff. So that's how it happens on a daily basis. When we come to the entire responsibility matrix, we help franchise partners at every front, be it pedagogy, operations, marketing, HR. Guidelines are laid out for recruitment of teachers, of the other staff. In terms of facility, our growth team is totally focused towards providing and identifying properties, catchments that are ideal for a franchisee. In terms of IT, again, there are a lot of processes laid out similar for finance and legal. Now, when it comes to being part of the franchise family, there are some things that I would like to share in terms of numbers. So for the 5 units, one of the units in Bangalore is a tremendous success story for us. We have started operations in March 2023. Today, we are looking at 180 admissions in one unit itself. The other 4 units are also looking at more than 60% fill rate in the first year itself. So this talks about our the response that Dibber India is getting so quickly. We are ambitious for the next year. We already have 3 company-owned units coming up in certain locations, and we have already spoken to a few franchise partners. You will see on our pages upcoming centers that are coming as part of franchise partners. Now, in terms of the investment, the typical investment that is required first in terms of the area is about 4,000 to 5,000 square feet. That's the minimum carpet area that is required. In terms of investment, while the total investment is 70 to 80 lakhs, a little breakup on the investment would be the franchise fee, which is about 15 lakhs. There is a unit kit that we provide to every franchise partner. That's again for 15 lakhs. There is no royalty component, but there is a child kit that is like a one-time fee for 25,000, where we provide a lot of materials that is required for the child to start their journey with Dibber. What we typically see is that with 2 admission cycles or 24 months, we see a break even that the franchise partners can achieve. Our fees are typically in the range of 2.3 to 2.8 lakhs per annum. That's in terms of the numbers, with a minimum fill rate of about 40 children. I think we we have seen success in most of our units. Like I said, a full capacity unit can be more than 120 children, but in the 5 units, we are already seeing 60% success. 4 units, 60%, 1 unit, 100%, more than 100%. So that's the kind of success that we are seeing. And currently, like I said, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune, we have our units. Mumbai, Delhi NCR is our upcoming locations that you will see very soon for the next academic year. So that's about the numbers and the brands, and we are very keen to partner with passionate individuals, people who understand the quality framework that we provide, the premium brand experience that we provide. Today, preschool industry is an extremely cluttered market. Having worked with a lot of other brands, I understand that everyone wants to offer everything in terms of the experience, but when it comes to processes, when it comes to frameworks, when it comes to keeping child at the center, not compromising on quality, I think Dibber has done a really good job across the other global markets and in the 5 units in India. And we want to continue to grow with the same quality. Yeah, so that's about Dibber and the experience, the brand, and some numbers. I think anything that Gaurav you would like to share?
Yeah, certainly, Mohan. So thanks for giving the insight about what Dibber is all about and how it is making a difference. But I'd like to add here for my audience. See, friends, we are seeing a tremendous growth in the preschool industry for over two decades now. But after the COVID, if you see, hardly the preschools which could sustain were the preschools who were actually quality conscious, and they were offering a right quality education to the child, and they were offering a right fee structure also, because that was like a balance between what you are getting as an input from the parent and what you are giving as an output to the child for their learning, right? So now if you see Dibber, they could sustain globally, right, during this difficult time of COVID, and they are still maintaining that 600 odd schools across the country, across the globe, right? Which today, if you see, no other company in Indian preschool diaspora we have, right? So it gives a lot of satisfaction in itself to me as a parent, that if I were to go and look at a preschool where I can put my child, I will look at a school which has got a global presence. Because today we are talking about globalization from a perspective of learning, from a perspective of brands that we adopt in our daily lifestyle, the brands that we eat on daily basis, the brands we carry on daily basis, the kind of cars that we run, right? The technology we use at our home, with the smart homes coming as a new technology enabled homes where we have started living in. So now this is what exactly we need, even at a foundation level, because preschool is one stage where the child is going out for the first time ever in their life, right? They are about 1 year, 5 months, 6 months, or probably 18 months to like 24 odd months. So you are going to give your child to somebody who is going to become the guardian of that child for 3 to 5 hours that the child is going to spend. And parents who are opting for a daycare, who are living in a nuclear family and they don't have any backup support at home to look after their child. So this is like one such platform where you're sending your child for the first time for the right nurturing, for the right development, and to give them an atmosphere which is going to create a foundation, which is going to give them an exposure which probably they would carry with themselves over the years, right? So all of us have gone to preschool. So from an investor perspective, from a parent's perspective, this brand has got two different uniqueness, two different merits, right, to be party to. So one is obviously the kind of investment you are doing, the kind of innovation that they have brought, the kind of differentiation that they're adding, and the kind of premium positioning that they have. Because premium preschool, as Monil mentioned, it's a very, very fragmented market, cluttered market. So you have all the kidsies and the bachpans and the shamrocks of the world working in this category, which is meant for the mass market, right? Which is operating in a budget of 20-30 lakh rupees and a per annum fees in a tune of 50-60,000 to probably 80,000 rupees or a lakh. But now, if you want to scale up, right, you want to scale up, you need that kind of a backing from a brand, you need that kind of a curriculum, you need that kind of a setup, you need that kind of an infra and that kind of a acknowledgement in the market. So this is where the brand Dibber coming from an investor perspective, because you're going to position yourself in the preschool category at a little premium side where you have less of the competition. So parents who aspire to send their child to a premium brand, so they go to look at GD Goenkas and the pathways and the step by step of the world, right? They look at Dhirubhai Ambani or they look at Oberoi's, where the fee structure ranges from probably 3 lakh rupees per annum, goes up to 7-8 lakh rupees per annum. But Dibber has created a niche where they're charging a fees in a tune of 2 lakh to probably 2,50,000 rupees. So they are not into the mass market and they're not into the very, very premium. They are into semi-premium, or I would say a premium market, which is affordable to every middle class and an upper middle class and to a affluent class. And at the same time, the quality of education that they're catering to has got a global exposure, right? So from a investor perspective, the merit is that you are being associated with going to see the global brand, the global offering, right? And you're going to become part of that global fraternity in the education. For a parent to send their child to a school which is affordable, yet very premium, yet quality oriented and in competition to all the pathways and the GD Goenkas. So learning foundation, right infrastructure, right curriculum, global exposure is something from a learning perspective, and investment and the ROI and the positioning from an investor perspective. So these are the two different offerings for two different stakeholders, two different, I would say, consumers of this brand. So look at from a broad horizon perspective where I'm coming from, which I'd like to message. So should you have any query, I request you to reach us to us so that we can align your direct visit to their office, and we can perhaps, if you're stationed somewhere in Bangalore or Pune or Hyderabad, we can probably align your visit also to one of their schools so that you will understand what exactly is brand offering to you, how it is making a difference, and you can probably experience that. And after experience, we can probably get to the next stage where we can talk about that how we can structure the special deal for you. How we can help you to get the right sort of property, how you can develop the infrastructure, because preschool is one business where we are talking about range of the fees. And why we are talking about range of the fees is because there are two broad parameters which work. One is obviously the kind of periphery you are working, the kind of area that you're choosing to do your business, because you have to look at the paying propensity, you have to look at the rentals, you have to look at the salaries, and you have to look at the other ancillary expenses that you have in that business. Subject to that, we decide a fee structure. And obviously, there is a capital requirement in the initial to set up the school, which includes your setup kit and franchise fees and the other infrastructure changes that you have to do at the site. So you can do all these changes only when you see a site, right? When a school team, when Dibber team visits the site and they understand, and then they plot a very, very exclusive capital and ROI sheet for you, which is going to give you the reflection of what business are we going to do, what investment are we going to invest, and what is going to be in between the middle line, what is going to be the expense on the infra, on the maintenance, on the salaries. Salaries may be filled, then you have your teaching staff and a non-teaching staff, and you have your other transport expenses. So we are going to give you that window where you can actually reflect upon the kind of numbers, the kind of ROI that we anticipate, right? So that's the right approach. So if you still have any question, I expect. Monil, we have a question from Mr. Praveen Devan, who is asking that what locations do we have in Dibber in Bangalore? So Devanji, there are two, I would say, comprehensions to this question. One, obviously, is the current structure, the current center that we have, and second is the new rollout plan that we have. So Monil, would you like to talk about both the aspects of this question?
Sure, sure. So in Bangalore, currently, the 3 units that we are running, one is in HSR layout, one is in Whitefield, and one is in Manyata. The Manyata center that I mentioned is around the IT park, which has around 180 children. We are looking at upcoming locations in JP Nagar, Indira Nagar, and other peripheries across Bangalore. Another thing that I wanted to mention and add to what Gaurav was saying is, especially in these kind of locations, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune, where we see a lot of parents working with MNCs, there are a lot of tie-ups that also happens with global MNCs, and they themselves provide a lot of subsidies to parents. if you are part of a preschool which is, which ticks off their quality barrel, and Dibber happens to be one of them. We are seeing a lot of people from these MNCs coming to our units because it is the preferred choice by the employer. So that is another advantage that we are seeing, especially in catchments that are around IT parks.
Great. So what is the typical radius exclusivity that we give to our one franchise before we set up the second franchise model?
So it's a minimum of 5 kilometers, because we've seen that within 5 kilometers, parents are comfortable sending the children, especially for a preschool program. But that's the kind of barrier that we keep between two units, and that's what we want to continue. Obviously, we want to also see how the catchment benefits that particular location. So there is a thorough study first of the catchment around the unit, and then the distance from the next nearest center. That should
Okay,
be.
so from a thumb rule perspective, it is typically 5 kilometers. However, it is also subject to the kind of density and the catchment that we have
Correct.
around that site which is offered. Great.
Yes.
So besides that, there is also a new education policy in place now by CBSE, where the preschool is also going to become part of the formal education system, though it is yet in discussion at a various state levels, right, education system. However, how are we geared up for that? How are we prepared for that? Because tomorrow, if let's say we implement by 2025 or let's say 26, how are we going to be helping our existing franchisees to cope up with that new policy? Because amid that policy, the preschool is going to be up till the grade of 2, but till date, the preschools are offering only up till the senior KG and a daycare.
Up till senior KG.
Right. So how are we going to take care of that as a policy when it will be implemented?
Sure. So like I said, we have a really robust team that takes care of the country operations and the global operations. And what we've seen is any change that happens in the industry is taken up dynamically. In terms of experience, like you mentioned, right now we are till the senior KG level, but Dibber also operates 10 schools across these countries. So there is a lot of experience in terms of K-12 schooling as well. Like we have tailored our experiences or the curriculum for the Indian market with the Nordic pedagogy. There is an extremely experienced staff that we have within our country as well as globally that is equipped to do this. Right now we are in the midst of understanding this education policy very well, because what happens is we've seen a lot of comments coming out from the government earlier, but what we came to know, things were not executed on the ground. So we are waiting for that. We are looking at all the options, and I would say we are extremely equipped to undergo any changes.
Okay, great. So which means we're already prepared. We have already tried and tested in other parts of the globe,
Yes.
right? So as and
Yes.
when we have this as a policy in India, we are going to use that experience, and probably we are going to tailor-made it according to Indian audience, right? Great. So now, from a rollout perspective, so any particular rollout that you have already made at a strategic level where you want to expand your initial set of franchisees? Because we have a question from the audience where he's asking that are we open for a place like Lucknow or Kanpur? What do we see our potential in these cities?
Yeah, so while we want to look at all the major cities across India, we want to really create centers that are successful stakeholders. So we are, I would say choosy in terms of what we are going with in the first few phases. In phase 1, like I mentioned, we are currently focusing on Delhi NCR, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Mumbai and outskirts like Navi Mumbai, Thane. Just give me a second. Sorry. Yeah. That is the phase 1. But yes, in phase 2, we want to open up markets which not only are high in terms of density, but we also want to look at the paying capacity. We also want to look at how MNCs or how the economic cycle is working in these particular cities. So typically, like any preschool that is present across all the top 40 cities in India, we want to be part of that in the next few phases. Right now, what we are doing is all the units that you see, we are trying to create a success story or a benchmark for all the units to follow, because it is very easy to scale, I would say, but it is difficult to scale with the kind of quality that we want, with the kind of promise that we are delivering, that you can get so many children that will appreciate, the parents that will appreciate the Dibber experience. So we will keep opening the locations as we go. Plans are extremely dynamic, so every month you will see some changes. Our marketing plans are also aligned in terms of that. So we are extremely aggressive in terms of digital. Like I said, we are digital first, but there are marketing plans laid out for local level as well. So that's how we're looking at it.
Great. Why a role model? So we should always look at the enough. We should look at the number of centers in a concentrated approach where we can put our energies in one city and one geography where we can probably cater to maximum audience, and we create a success story, and then we move in a cascade way in the nearby geography so that the service becomes easy and the overall operations become easy, and the franchisees also get real value for their money, and obviously the parents who are sending their kids gets their the quality education and the growth that they are desiring for. So the point is very much taken. Any more questions, Aditya, we have on behalf of the audience before we can conclude the day?
So we can, I was just asking that what is the minimum area required? 5,000 is mentioned, but in cities like Bombay and Bangalore, it is very difficult, not difficult, it is very expensive to find such areas. So is there a model which is starting with a smaller area?
So valid question. Currently not. Even if you look at our units in Bangalore, they are close to 4,000 square feet. So 4,000 is something that we are looking at to start with. One of the very important aspects of the Dibber experience is the open area or the outside play area. And that is extremely crucial when it comes to delivering the experience or the pedagogy. So that's what we are looking at. And rightly so, in Mumbai, like I mentioned, we are also looking at periphery, Thane, Navi Mumbai, where real estate is relatively cheaper, but the paying capacity is available. So that's how we are looking at it for now. For the model that you mentioned, I can say that we are working on something like that, but for the first leg of our experience in India, we want to go with a premium delivery or a premium service.
Okay. So Monil, as you mentioned that there is a setup kit also as a service that you give so that it becomes a unanimous infrastructure, right? Deliverables, tools,
Yes.
teaching aids, and obviously the other
Apps.
inclusions, right? Other inclusions for your Dibber curriculum, right? So what all does it include, and how does it different than the other competition preschools? Because we have seen a lot of other competition preschools are also offering a setup kit at 5 lakhs to probably 6, 7, 8 lakh rupees, but yours is like 15 lakh rupees. So I'm sure is it the number of students obviously are more because their minimum requirement is about 1,500 to 2,000 odd square feet site, whereas we're looking at least 4,000 odd square feet. So other than the number of students, what is the other differential factor is there in your kit?
So again, this is driven by the Nordic pedagogy or the Nordic way of teaching, where there is focus on 2 or 3 areas. Like I mentioned, the outside play area and the indoor play area are extremely crucial for providing that kind of learning. Also, every material that we made make in terms of the unit is tied to one learning outcome. I've been in the industry, in the preschool industry, and I've seen that 80 to 90% of the unit kit is same across major preschools. It has not been changed for years. The same kind of things have been provided, the same kind of toys, the same kind of mats. But here you will see a lot of changes in terms of every aspect of the kit that is provided, be it toys, be it books, be it the safety equipment, even the racks, what is approachable for a child, what is accessible for a child. There are learning friends that are part of our curriculum. So we have about 7 learning friends, each of which provides one kind of learning outcome. So there is material equipment associated with that, which is truly exclusive to Dibber. So things like art, things like math, things like creativity, movement for health. Hearty Howard, which is our learning friend, which talks about kindness. So even in our units, you will see corners of learning friends providing different learning outcomes. And to equip every teacher to provide that service, there are a lot of things that are provided as part of the unit kit. It is a beautiful experience when you see everything coming together. And that's how, we are able to differentiate, and that's how it's kind of different even in terms of the monetary aspect. To get that experience, like you said, if anyone visits the unit, it will be absolutely visible how it is different from any other preschool in the country.
Great. So it is not just the cost, but also the inclusions in the kit and the objectives attached with every tool and the equipment and the fixtures and the furnitures that we have incorporated in our setup kit. So it is meant for some of the other objectivity for the child development. Great. So I think we have discussed on what Dibber is all about, where it is coming from, who's the brain behind, what is the rollout, what is the strategy, how they're different, what kind of rollout plan they have, what kind of investment does it need, what kind of student fees are we charging, right? And the support system that we are going to render from a brand side, how it is different than the other competition preschools, what all does it include to set up a Dibber, and various other modalities. And should you still have any query, you either can reach us on our hotline number, which is mentioned in the chat box, or you can share your contact details so that our team can reach you. And we'll be aligning your call with the brand team directly, either in the Noida office or in their centers, and as mentioned in the 3 cities, so that you can learn from the horse's mouth and you can probably live it the way the Dibber team lives it, and then you can perhaps be a part of this global education system. So thank you so much, Monil, for joining us and giving us this knowledge about the entire brand and the way you're going to take it to the next level. We wish you all the good luck to you, and obviously to our viewers who are listening to us, who are viewing us. We look forward to probably helping you to take this Dibber journey, right? Spreading across the best of the cities in the country. So thank you so much once again. Neha, over to you.
Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you so much, Mr. Monil. Thank you for coming and joining this webinar, sharing your brand details and the expansion opportunity with our participants and the investors. And it's a great opportunity for the people who wants to join hands with the international brand in terms of coming forward with preschooling. So I think it's a wonderful opportunity to join with this great brand. Guys, I have already shared the contact details of Mr. Gaurav into the chat window. You can directly reach out to him to know more about the brand and to connect with the brand one-to-one for further discussions. And for your queries also, you can write us at feedback@franchiseindia.in. Tomorrow again, we are coming up with a new business opportunity for all of you, as we are committed in the same thing. With Hair Master, it is a luxury salon industry, and they are giving premium services. They're already there in the market with 60 plus outlets from past 9 years. And they are providing the opportunity with a guaranteed payback in 24 months. To know more details about this brand in detail, please join us tomorrow at 12 p.m. I have already shared the registration link into chat window. You can click on the link and you can get yourself registered in advance. So thank you so much for your time and wish you all the good luck. Have a happy day ahead. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Monal. Thank you, Mr. Gaurav. Thank you, Aditya.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.